Hi everybody, my name is Emily Jan and I am a Montreal-based artist. It's a pleasure to be a part of Field Trip, the first artist in residence that Field Trip has put together, digital residence, since we are of course still at home because of COVID. But I thought I would take this opportunity to walk you around my studio and show you around a little bit. So here we go. Paint sinks, watering can, dishes. I wasn't always a crazy plant person, but I think that the studio made me into a crazy plant person. I had a studio mate who was really big on succulents and cacti. A lot of these specimens originally came from him. And it's so bright and sunny up here. It's just a great place to grow things. But I think being surrounded by life when you're making work about life, it makes a difference. It really does. It's different from being in a sterile studio. There are all the crazy succulents. And my fig tree gives me figs every once in a while. But yeah, you can see the general scope of the studio. This is where I was sitting introducing myself to you before. It's my sort of drawing nook. Yeah, so much wool. Those 3 bags in the middle I inherited from a friend of mine who was learning to shear sheep. And then she went back to France and I got the wool from the shearing. That started me working with natural wool that I was processing myself. So here's the big wool stash. Some of it is colored merino that I purchased commercially that I use sort of on the pelts of my pieces. Here's some sort of dye experiments of various naturally dyed wools that I got from Newfoundland when I was on a residency last year. And some more bags of wool organized by location. Again, got these from a farmer, a couple wonderful farmers actually, in Newfoundland when I was there on residency last year. This is what I consider my mad scientist corner of the studio. Several years ago on a grant from the May, Montreal, I learned how to do medieval paint preparation and gilding. So I have this shelf of very ancient materials, well, maybe not the nail polish, but some really old school kind of materials that I use in my two-dimensional work. This is where I sit and work on my two-dimensional work. You can see a bunch of powdered pigments that I brought back from Venice and some liquid pigments that came from Camera Pigments because of that grant, and all the brushes and dip pens and droppers and things. So though I am primarily a sculptor, in the midst of the pandemic and being kind of unsure when we were going to be able to show big work in person again, I started working small again, just on paper, because I could. These are some drawings of objects in the studio, things I've collected over the years, natural things that came from the Renaissance. This set of doll eyes, I think, came from Tel Aviv, of all places. But these are all done in egg tempera, which I'm mixing myself with eggs and the pigments that you see here. And there is a walnut ink base below them, because I also forage my own inks. So because I have a textile background, I actually also have a background in natural dyeing and general sort of print and dye. And what you find really quickly when you're foraging and making your own inks is that a lot of the knowledge from doing dye work crosses over into making inks. So here are some of the black walnut hulls that I collected last year. Those are responsible for the ink that I'm using in these drawings that I just showed you. So that's the brief tour of the studio. Thanks for joining me, and
Next time, I think I'm going to show you the project that I'm going to be working on during my field trip residency, which has to do with museums and collections and relates quite deeply to a lot of the things that we've been discussing in our field trip residency. Again, my name is Emily Jan, and this is Field Trip, and I will catch you next time.